In our second bout, we present a clash between the illustrious Steve Regal and the formidable Buck ZUMHOFFE. As the competitors made their way to the ring, I couldn't help but notice a striking resemblance between Regal and the legendary Ric Flair. The long, flowing blonde hair, the extravagant gold jacket. It was almost as if Flair himself had materialized before our eyes. Coincidentally, the name Steve Regal seemed to be a playful nod to the iconic Ric Flair, further fueling the illusion. However, upon closer inspection, we discovered that Steve Regal had a unique lineage of his own. He was the son-in-law of none other than Wilbur Snyder, the renowned wrestler immortalized in the movie The Wrestler. Hailing from Nebraska, Steve Regal was a longtime acquaintance and confidant of mine during my tenure in the AWA territory. It's important to note that this Steve Regal is not to be mistaken for Stephen Regal, the esteemed lord from England and a descendant of the mighty William the Conqueror. Are you all prepared to hear about the colossal error I committed in the world AWA? I am absolutely furious, to the point where I would not hesitate to have a firearm aimed at that individual. This tale has been building up for quite some time, and now I shall reveal the shocking Buck ZUMHOFFE narrative. I consider myself fortunate to discuss this matter presently, as I have no desire to endure any undeserved commendation for this despicable individual. His actions have caused immense destruction in his own life, and he shall forever be remembered as a disgrace. Accompanied by the pulsating rhythms of an 80s boombox, an aura of nostalgia enveloped him as he descended upon the ring. The tunes he unleashed echoed the sweet memories of yesteryears, evoking a sense of longing for a bygone era. While the beats may have held the charm of malt shop melodies from my generation, they fell short of capturing the true essence of 1983's soundscape. On March 5th, 2014, Eugene Otto ZUMHOFFE faced a conviction in the Minnesota court. The charges against him involved 6 counts of first-degree sexual conduct with his daughter, which traced back to incidents occurring when she was just 16 years old. What an utterly depraved individual. At the time of his conviction, he had reached the age of 62 and shockingly faced an additional charge on the day of his sentencing for attempting to escape the courthouse before the verdict was announced, only to be apprehended by security personnel shortly after. His crimes involved abhorrent acts committed between the years 1986 and 1989. The most disturbing aspect was that he carried out these heinous acts while being affiliated with the AWA and shamelessly touring our communities under the pretense of spreading joy and entertainment. Ironically, this person went by the name of Epstein. Buck had envisioned a groundbreaking venture, aiming to establish an entire female touring wrestling promotion centered around his daughter's talent. One could easily find numerous videos capturing his beaming presence beside his daughter, envisioning her as the shining star of professional wrestling. However, the course of events took a dark turn in May of 1999, shortly after her 15th birthday, when Buck relentlessly began subjecting her to unimaginable sexual abuse that persisted until she reached the age of 27. Astonishingly, she estimated enduring an overwhelming 1,800 incidents of assault, while even suspecting the possibility of her father impregnating her at some point. During her testimony, she shockingly revealed that she was conceived through a disturbing encounter between Buck and a woman associated with the AWA back in 1983. In the aftermath of AWA Super Sunday, the wheels of fate were set in motion, leading to an encounter that would forever change his life. A fateful connection was sparked, leading to a brief union that became a mystery, shrouded in uncertainty. Years passed before the truth came to light through a paternity test, confirming his role as the father of a child he had never met. It wasn't until 1998, when she was 15, that he finally crossed paths with his daughter in what seemed like a haunting scene reminiscent of Mickey Rourke's The Wrestler. With a mix of reluctance and eagerness, he entered her life, meeting her at her school, an event that left an indelible mark on both their souls. Their connection grew stronger during her spring break spent at his residence. A year later, he felt an irresistible pull to reunite the fragmented family, yearning for a sense of wholeness that had long eluded him. On her 15th birthday, he surprised her with a fashionable two-piece bathing suit, encouraging her to embrace the sun and avoid any odd tan lines. Taking it a step further, he insisted on gently applying oil on her body, even beneath her swimsuit bottom. Sadly, this marked the beginning of a disturbing turn of events when she eventually moved in with Buck in June of '99. Despite her mother's initial plans to join them, this never came to fruition, and that's when the abuse began, its sinister escalation. During her court testimony, she bravely described the explicit details of Buck's insatiable desire, which led him to engage in sexual acts with her 2 to 3 times a day, depriving her of any time to heal. Shockingly, multiple witnesses witnessed Buck French kissing his dog and engaging in suggestive dancing with her daughter during her high school dance. After she moved away and got married, the threats started pouring in, with Buck menacingly stating he would harm himself. In 1989, he was found guilty of 4th-degree sexual assault involving a minor and served a 3-year sentence in Stillwater Prison. During his time there, he earned recognition as a champion in the light heavyweight division, a category I personally established. It goes without saying that athleticism is highly valued in wrestling. While I prefer to avoid involving myself in others' personal matters, I must emphasize that I cannot condone such behavior. It is true that he was a product of the 1975 wrestling training program led by myself and Billy Robinson, but his actions escalated from conviction for 1st-degree to 3rd-degree sexual assault. This individual is truly despicable, exhibiting severe delusion, psychopathy, sociopathy, and deeply troubling behavior. During the expansive territorial era, a disheartening truth thrived. A disreputable cohort of wrestlers found comfort in engaging in illicit relationships with underage girls across various cities. These unsavory figures, known as ring rats, sought solace in such reprehensible acts as a compensatory measure for their meager earnings within the realm of professional wrestling. In the tumultuous month of May 2014, justice delivered its verdict upon Buck ZUMHOFFE. A somber courtroom bore witness as the gavel fell, sealing his fate to 25 years of confinement within the fortress walls of a penitentiary. This pivotal moment reverberated throughout the psychological community, igniting a surge of speculation and analysis. Buck ZUMHOFFE, the enigmatic subject of countless case studies and therapeutic interventions, now stood as a poignant symbol of humanity's profound complexities. Were you aware that Buck ZUMHOFFE holds the distinction of being the very first individual to experience the confines of the Undertaker's body bag in the WWF? Fortunately, their curiosity got the better of them and they opened it prematurely. It's intriguing how Gene Okerlund refers to Regal as the flamboyant Steven Regal, seemingly using sophisticated language to imply something about his sexual orientation. Ron Trongard continues to hype up the upcoming wrestling match between Buck ZUMHOFFE and light heavyweight champion Mike Graham, scheduled for May 2nd at the St. Paul Auditorium. Trongard believes that this fight will be a game changer for Buck, propelling him to new heights in the wrestling world. In Trongard's own words, if there's one thing that's going to make me throw caution to the wind and wager my hard-earned cash, it's the prospect of witnessing Buck ZUMHOFFE square off against Mike Graham. This matchup has all the makings of a legendary troll match, akin to pitting Mini Vader against Mini Mankind. As the bell rings, the two opponents engage in a fierce lockup, each vying for control. With lightning, fast reflexes, Buck deftly evades a right-hand strike, leaving Ron to ponder why anyone would choose to reside in the small, isolated town of Hamburg, Minnesota. The action intensifies as Regal swiftly transitions into a waistlock, exerting his dominance. Buck counters with a powerful right-hand strike against the ropes, demonstrating his resilience and determination. In a flurry of high-flying action, Buck launched himself towards the ropes, performing a spectacular monkey flip. Though he landed nimbly on his feet, he swiftly unleashed a devastating dropkick, sending his opponent reeling. The crowd erupted in cheers as Buck seized control of the match, transitioning into a bone-crunching slam. Their rivalry intensified as they grappled, each refusing to yield. Undeterred, Buck seized Regal's wrist with a tenacious grip, setting up for another devastating maneuver. Regal, however, proved to be a seasoned veteran, skillfully evading Buck's attempt to overpower him. Regal retaliated with an Irish whip, swiftly executing a hip toss that sent Buck tumbling down to the mat. In the corner, Regal trapped Buck in a relentless armbar, causing him to writhe in pain. But Buck, refusing to succumb, summoned his inner strength and began chanting rock and roll. The crowd, energized by Buck's defiant spirit, roared in support. The arena reverberated with the rhythm of their voices, driving Buck to break free from Regal's relentless assault. The battle raged on, each combatant refusing to concede defeat as the crowd held their breath in anticipation of the next thrilling movie. I recently came to the realization that the more he bounces around with such erratic behavior, he truly resembles the Minnesota incarnation of Jimmy Valiant. In fact, he seems to be the modern-day boogeyman, frightening the younger generation. Perhaps his true name should be Buck's unyielding presence. In a flurry of motion, Buck endured a devastating knee lift to his gut, sending him sprawling to the mat. He capitalized on his advantage, securing a pin attempt, but it only yielded a near fall as Buck heroically kicked out at the count of 2. Regal, sensing Buck's resilience, unleashed a thunderous elbow drop from the second rope, hoping to put an end to the resilient Buck's resistance. However, Buck, fueled by sheer determination, rallied back to his feet, refusing to surrender. Regal, in a desperate attempt to regain control, ensnared Buck's wrist in a top wrist lock. Buck, displaying his technical prowess, countered the maneuver, but Regal, with a cunning move, grabbed Buck's hair and yanked him off balance, forcing a break in the action. Buck, unyielding, attempted a corner ram, only to be met with a devastating counterattack by Regal. Regal, with his signature flair, executed a dazzling spin around, igniting the crowd's excitement as Buck's hopes of victory seemed to fade. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation as Regal, like a royal lion, pounced onto his opponent with the force of a whip. Buck ZUMHOFFE, the charismatic crowd favorite, led the charge with electrifying moves, igniting the spectators' spirits. Regal, however, proved to be a formidable opponent, countering every attack with the agility of a seasoned warrior. He delivered a thunderous knee strike, sending ZUMHOFFE crashing to the canvas. An Irish whip, followed by an elbow to the head, had ZUMHOFFE reeling, his knees buckling beneath him. But ZUMHOFFE, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, reversed an Irish whip attempt, sending Regal into the corner. With the momentum of a freight train, ZUMHOFFE executed a body slam on Regal, leaving him stunned. Gathering his strength, ZUMHOFFE climbed to the top rope, his eyes locked on his opponent. He unleashed a gravity-defying springboard, connecting with a devastating move that left Regal writhing in pain. The referee's hand shot up, signaling the 1, 2, 3. ZUMHOFFE had triumphed, etching his name in wrestling history. In 1983, Buck ZUMHOFFE, a seasoned wrestler in his late 30s, attempted to revive the rock and roll gimmick, complete with a boombox. This concept seemed rather antiquated, considering the era had shifted away from the rock and roll craze of the 1960s. Despite Buck's energetic performance and the presence of Regal, a formidable heel, the overall package failed to resonate with audiences. Gene Okerlund's incessant repetition of 11:05, repeating "your winner rock and roll, Buck," resembled an emergency broadcast system rather than wrestling commentary, adding an unintentionally comedic element to the match. The relic of the rock and roll gimmick, combined with Okerlund's repetitive commentary, has not aged well and now appears outdated and somewhat humorous. It's a testament to the changing landscape of professional wrestling, where trends and gimmicks evolve over time, leaving behind those that fail to adapt.